Welcome to the EMSL Environmental Molecular Sciences Laboratory 2020 integration meeting on visualizing the proteome. Next slide, please. My name is Lily Pasatolik and I serve as EMSL Deputy of Technology. I'm also a proud member of the organizing team for this committee and for this meeting, and I'm very grateful for all of the members, including our session speakers, Trevor Moser, Movei Zhu, Ying Zhu, Irina Novikova, and Ibet Bilbao, and also for amazing administrative, technical communication support that we have received from Beth Norris, Mary McGowan, Linda Isaacson, Jody Pitch, Diane Showers, and Eva Baroni. And last but not the least, to my partner in crime, meeting co-organizer, James Evans, from whom you will hear just in a few minutes. James will give you an overview of the agenda and describe what you can expect over the next few days. And he will also give you some basic instructions in regards to Zoom and Discord to help you get the most out of this virtual meeting. I would also like to thank all our speakers and poster presenters, and thank all of you for joining the party. As of this morning, we have over 320 registered users, and I am confident the number will keep growing. I hope that you will all have a wonderful time, learn quite a lot, be able to create some new relationships, partnerships, collaborations, and if you are already not, consider becoming an EMSL user. And with that, I will pass the baton to James.
Thank you, Lily. Before we move on, I also would like to make sure that I send my appreciation to all of the presenters, all of the co-organizers and administrative staff. Without any of you, this meeting wouldn't have taken place. And with that, Sarah, could you go to the next slide, please? So welcome again to the EMSL Integration 2020 Visualizing the Proteome meeting. The integration meeting is EMSL's annual user meeting. Things obviously look a little bit different this year. Usually we would be on site here on campus doing the meeting in person, but we're grateful that we could at least all still come together, even if only in this virtual environment. I'd like to give a quick overview of how the meeting will run. We will host 5 sessions, scientific sessions over the course of 4 days. These sessions are really driven around the different capabilities that we have at EMSL that can be brought to bear on this topic of visualizing the proteome. And we've reached out to a number of leading experts in the field. Some of them will come from environmental and molecular sciences backgrounds, some from medical, spanning universities to national labs, and also users in the US and also scientists abroad overseas. So it's going to be an exciting meeting. The main sessions will all begin at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time each day and be hosted here in this Zoom webinar. The link for the webinar will be the same link every single day. And the link can be found in the meeting agenda as well as on the event website. If you're already joined us, you obviously know where that link is. When time allows, we will have a question and answer session following each presenter. Please post your questions in the Zoom chat window, and our meeting moderators will read them to the presenter. We also encourage you to use our Discord server for additional conversation and questions. The Discord server will operate in parallel to the meeting, and presenters and session chairs will be monitoring that chat as well in Discord, and we'll be able to use that to address questions and comments there. So please post your questions and comments in the appropriate text channel. You'll note that there is a text channel designated for each individual session. And the part of the reason for that is it allows us to have a continuous dialogue. Anytime you log in, you'll be able to see any new chats that show up in any of those sessions. And especially for our presenters overseas, if you add your questions to the Discord chat channels, that allows the presenters from overseas to sign off anytime they need to due to the time difference. And when they log in again in the morning, they will find any questions addressed to their talk and they can respond accordingly. So please feel free to submit your questions anytime, and also check back in each of the channels to stay up to date with the conversations. Also, the link to the Discord server can be found on the agenda on the meeting website, and we'll also post it in the chat window here. This link will also stay the same all the way throughout the meeting. Also, our virtual poster session will also take place in Discord, and we'll provide more information about the poster session on Wednesday. In Discord, we'll have separate text channels, actually voice channels, that allow us to have individual breakout rooms for each poster. All right, Sarah, next slide, please. Now later today, we'll have a discussion panel with the User Executive Committee. Whether you are a past user of EMSL, a current user of EMSL, or thinking about becoming an EMSL user, I encourage you to attend this meeting. It will have its own Zoom meeting link, which you can find in the agenda. The role of the User Executive Committee is to advise EMSL management on things that are going well and also issues that users experience. So the User Executive Committee is composed of completely external scientists who represent you, and yours and their input only makes EMSL stronger and better able to continue to provide excellent scientific opportunities for our users. So feel free to engage with them, both offline or through Discord during or after the User Executive meeting. In addition to the main sessions, each day we will also have specific tutorials that expand upon the topics of the day and focus on one key capability at EMSL that is open to users. Here on the screen, you can see that each tutorial will actually have its own Zoom link as well. These are embedded inside of the agenda, again on our website, and each day we'll provide the link in the chat as well. The tutorials themselves, the idea of them is to provide background information about the various technologies and give you a view into the process of analyzing your sample, along with key considerations you need to take into account if you want to have a successful run with your samples. Now, if you have ever wanted to learn more or access any of EMSL's capabilities in cryo-EM, native mass spec, few cell proteomics, advanced computing, or just learn how to write a successful user proposal, I encourage you to join the tutorials each day. Note that each tutorial has its own Zoom link. Our afternoon sessions and the tutorials taking place in the Zoom meeting will allow the attendees to launch your video screens. We encourage you again to post any questions to the Zoom chat window for that tutorial, and the moderator will be able to forward those questions to the presenter. While you are in the Zoom meeting, in any of the Zoom meetings, we do encourage you to stay on mute unless you're called upon. And finally, if you have any issues or questions throughout the meeting, feel free to contact any of the people on the list on Zoom here by Zoom, Discord, or email. Myself and Lily, co-organizers of this, are going to be on every single session. Jody, Diane, and Beth are, and Mary McGowan, who's not on this, I'm sorry, Mary, are administrators, and they'll also be on throughout. And then Trevor Moser, Yingzhu, Moe, and Yvette are also going to be on most of the sessions as well. So with that, next slide, please. We've gone through the logistics, so we can get started on the fun science. So I'd like to turn it over to Douglas, who will give a brief overview and welcome to the integration meeting. Douglas?
Thanks, James. Good morning, everyone, or I guess maybe good afternoon or good evening, depending where you are for joining us. I'm Douglas Manns, Director of the Environmental Molecular Sciences Laboratory, or EMSL. located here on the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory's Richland, Washington campus. I wanted to thank Lily and James and the organizing committee for doing a wonderful job of putting what appears to be a fantastically exciting and engaging speaker series and lineup over the next few days. I promise I won't take too much of your time so that we can get to the good stuff, but I figured I would kick off what I believe to be the 10th annual integration meeting, or at least the 10th that we've called the integration meeting, with an overview of EMSL, some of our capabilities and science focus, and for the new folks joining us today, give you an idea of where we're looking to go and some of the exciting opportunities ahead of us. Next slide, please, Sarah. As you know, EMSL is a DOE Office of Science user facility funded by the Office of Biological and Environmental Research, also known as BER. As a user facility, we fund competitively peer-reviewed projects that further BER research in collaboration with scientists around the world. To support the user program for BER, the EMSL facility houses our scientific expertise, our instruments, and unique laboratory spaces. Briefly, the facility encompasses around a total of 234,000 square feet here on the PNNL campus, where we house and operate over 150 instruments. In addition, there exist several unique spaces within EMSL. This includes our prime computing space for Tahoma, our newest high-performance hybrid architecture supercomputer that's replacing our aging Cascade system. We also have a quiet wing that is acoustically, vibrationally, and electromagnetically shielded, with 8 bays housing electron microscopes, including our newest addition, a Titan Krios high-resolution cryo-EM, which James mentioned there'll be a tutorial on earlier, which was a cost share with the Biological System Sciences Division at BER. We also have a plant sciences lab with controlled growth chambers, phytotrons, and various root and rhizosphere imaging capabilities. And we also have a highly modified lab space that houses our 21 Tesla Fourier transform ion cyclotron resonance mass spectrometer, which is only one of 2 in the world, the other being in the Florida State High Magnet Lab down in Tallahassee. For FY20, the user program, we supported 685 users worldwide on 201 active projects with an operating budget of just under 45 million, and we're anticipating a similar budget going forward into FY21. Next slide, please. EMSL Science is focused on BER's 2 core mission areas, energy security and environmental sustainability. Last year, we began further refining our areas of expertise in pursuit of supporting these 2 mission areas for BER. As part of this refinement, EMSL Science is focused on functional and systems biology and environmental transformations and interaction science areas. Our 6 integrated research platforms, shown on the right, have been created to support the science areas by establishing domain expertise in core areas of functional omics, molecular bioimaging, cellular dynamics, which largely support our efforts in the functional and systems biology area in biofuels and plant microbial resilience research, while the biogeochemical transformations, isotope and chemical analysis, and molecular plant phenotyping IRPs largely support our environmental system science research in building a predictive understanding of ecosystem responses based on molecular and mechanistic process understandings. These IRPs, as they're referred to, contain our diverse science expertise, our advanced instrumentation, and our unique facilities to foster domain expertise within them. These platforms can serve as standalone areas of focused research that the users could engage with, or more excitingly, they can be mixed and matched to leverage synergies and amplify science and impact at the interfaces between them. And at the root of all of our scientific pursuits is our computing, analytics, and modeling capabilities, which support all of our science areas and our IRPs. Next slide, please, Sarah. In pursuit to revolutionize BER science with our colleagues, we developed a S&T, or Science and Technology Roadmap, to define the 10-year strategic objectives that EMSL is pursuing, which would squarely position EMSL as leaders in our science areas. To craft these objectives, we hosted a series of road mapping workshops from February to June this past year. These workshop participants included science and technology leaders from across PNNL, EMSL, and the external science community. And during these workshops, we assessed current scientific trends and drivers, sponsor needs, as well as national and societal priorities. Based on where we saw the future of BER research heading and larger trends and drivers impacting EMSL, we formulated the following 3 objectives that we're pursuing. The first is creating a digital phenome, or DigiPhen as it's referred to serve as a platform for predicting and controlling biology from biomolecules to organisms. The second is establishing MONET, an acronym short for a National Molecular Observations Network, used to help establish modeling from elements to ecosystems. And the third is to enhance and continue to build a BER-focused modeling and data scientist capability to visualize all of the biological and environmental data that we generate. With these exciting new challenges ahead, we look forward to working with our user community and many of you new users to help make these objectives come to reality. Next slide, please, Sarah. More immediate opportunities to participate with us involve our annual EMSL. For example, next July in 2021, we'll be hosting our third annual summer school. Its focus will be on the multi-omics modeling of biochemical pathways. And this event is geared towards students, postdocs, and early career researchers, though anyone is free to participate. It's likely that at this point it will probably be virtual, given the circumstances, but we'll get a better sense of the format next year as the year plays out and progresses. Next slide, please, Sarah. Also, as a heads up, mark your calendars for next year's integration meeting happening in early to mid-October. Yes, we have already begun planning for it, even though this one has just officially started. Next year's focus will be on environmental sensors. Again, we're not sure whether this will be a virtual or an in-person meeting. More information will be provided on our website as next year progresses. I hope to see all of you there and look forward to hearing the great presentations lined up for this week's meetings. And at this point, I will turn it back over to Lily and James, our co-hosts, to kick us off for the next sessions. Thank you.